Hey guys, I want to show you this currency farming strategy for Strand map, which you farm delirium orbs on. And as you can see on the screen, it's pretty good. You end up with some nice delirium explosions at the end of the map. You get a lot of delirium orbs, which are quite valuable. They're about 20C each right now for an orb. If you get good orbs, they can be worth more than that. We are going to be juicing the maps very, very slightly. The cost is very, very low. It's a low investment strategy, just 4C per map and really just 4 rusted scarabs. That's all you have to do. And then you just push the map on Strand to try to get 8 Deli rewards. Really, we go to 7, and then we take a point on the Atlas passive tree that allows us to get +1 reward when we kill the boss. And that allows us to get to 8 rewards, which is really nice. So, a couple things about this strategy. It's a performance-based strategy. So you want a strong build to do it. You want to be able to do T16 maps with pretty high layers of delirium. I'm not 100% sure what that even means, but the map gets harder as you go, basically, and as the delirium rewards ramp up. What else do we want to talk about with this? Yeah, we can do the Strand map because it's a very long map and allows us to get a lot of rewards. So we're basically just adding a bunch of league mechanics to the map without the purpose of doing those league mechanics for currency, because we don't really care too much about what those monsters drop, because most of the time they're not dropping really anything too good, but they can drop good stuff, right, which is always a bonus. But mostly we're just adding monsters to the map and killing them to get better rewards from the delirium explosion at the end of the map, like you saw at the beginning of the video. Mostly going for delirium rewards. We are going to get probably about like 50C at least in rewards per map. I'll go over the profit breakdown at the end, but it's going to cost 4C per map, so pretty much everything you find in your map is going to be profit, so it's going to be really nice. And one other thing to go over is, as you see, like in a lot of these clips, in the bottom left corner is the number of rewards you're getting. Now that number next to those tiles is the number of rewards when I refer to it. The people got a little bit confused last time I did a video on this, and they thought it was like the number of tiles that gives you the rewards I'm talking about. When you get to 8 like separate tiles, that's 8 rewards. No, it's the number in the most left tile is 8 rewards, right? As you can see at the end of the map, most of the time I'm up to 7 rewards, and then I get 8 when I kill the boss, because we take a notable on the Atlas passive tree that allows us to get +1 for killing the boss. So basically you push it to 7, and then you rush the map boss down, get it to 8, end the map, get your big delirium explosion, and you're good to go. Anything else you get in the map along the way is just bonus, which is why we're also taking Searing Exarch for just more Awakened Sextants, Chaos Orbs, and anything else good that might drop from altars, as well as all the little league mechanics we're adding to the map. I think that basically covers everything I want to talk about. We'll take a look at the Atlas passive tree setup here real quick. Alright guys, so the Atlas passive tree we have set up here. Now a lot of this stuff can be moved around depending on maybe you prefer doing another league mechanic over some of the stuff I have here. It doesn't really matter what league mechanics you're doing as long as you're getting to 7 rewards and then killing the boss to get 8 rewards. And just to go over that really quickly, we take this node here, which delirium reward types in your maps gain +1 to count on map completion. Now that's what gives us the 8th reward when we kill the boss. Every time. You should be getting to 8 rewards every time you do this, if you do it right without dying and get through the whole map. Some other things we take here, we take Exarch altars over here with Wrath of the Cosmos. If you can't handle Wrath of the Cosmos, you can turn it off. Most people can. Like I said, you need a powerful build to do this, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue if you're opting into this strategy. You could also take this 10% progress towards Searing Exarch, which is going to give you more of those invitations faster, which is a good thing to take. I've gone for some other things, but that's something you could switch out when you're doing this. We're not taking really any keystones besides a singular focus here. Let's get down to the bottom and let's talk about what we're blocking, because this is rather important to the strategy. So we want to get the delirium mirrors to spawn in our maps. What do we block? We block everything except for the league mechanics we're doing that we want to encounter, which is going to be Abyss, Breach, and Legion, right? And then also the delirium mirror. Now this is going to give us about a 30-something% chance to spawn a delirium mirror in the map, but it's much higher because we're blocking other things, and it really ends up being closer to like a 60% chance. So with the setup I have, we only get a delirium mirror about 60-70% of the time in your map. So when you don't have it, you're going to just blast through the map, try to spawn some altars maybe. If you really want, you can just spawn the influence and leave, because that's going to pay for your map cost. Covering you with the invitation price. Once you sell the invitation, it's going to be worth like, I don't know, like almost a divine. So 1/25 of the invitation is going to be more than the 4C you spend on scarabs if you want to just get onto the next map and try to get a delirium mirror from the next map. I have tried to use the sextant. The sextant looked kind of expensive at this point in the league. The spawn a delirium mirror sextant So I decided not to use it this time around. I don't think it's really that much of a difference if you used it or if you not use it. It's just more investment to guarantee you get the Mirror Delirium every map, so you don't have to worry about spawning it or not, and what you're going to do with your kind of like time efficiency strategy for going through the map if you don't spawn the mirror. That's something you want to keep in mind. You kind of want to have a little bit of a game plan if you don't have the mirror. What I was doing is I was just like blasting through the map, spawning the altars, seeing if the altars were any good, and then just go and kill the map boss real quick, like less than a minute per map doing that. That felt good. You could kind of do whatever you want there, kind of freestyle it, guys. You have free reign there with the strategy to do that when you don't get a mirror. Just go wild. Anyway, we're also taking some Harbinger stuff. It's just like more stuff to add to the maps for monsters to kill. This actually helps out a lot and gets the 7 rewards pretty consistently. And then we just take like chance to get Delirium, chance to get more legions, chance to get more breaches. The big ones you want for the strategy for Delirium orbs, though, which is the main form of currency we're going to be getting and generating for this, are these orb and jewel chance. Also, we take these nodes for that +1 reward at the end of the map. And then also just more stuff that makes Delirium better here. This gives us more chance for mirrors, which is very, very important, as well as these nodes down here. And then what else do we have? 3 additional reward types. This can be really good for getting us like big maps with like a whole bunch of different tile sets of Delirium rewards. Delirium stuff. The fog dissipates in your map 25% slower. And this seemed to work quite well for me. So I took these nodes. You could take these out. I didn't take anything like this the last time I did the strategy, and I didn't really have an issue with managing the fog and not going too fast or going too slow and having the fog catch up to me. You could play around with some of these nodes over here. They kind of dictate how the fog works in your map. Just play with those if you're having trouble like losing the fog and dropping your rewards. You'll see what I mean if you do have trouble, but most people probably won't at this point in the league. Most people are playing pretty strong builds that'll be able to do this relatively easily. Obviously, you could take out like some of these. I always kind of like to take the top of the diamond and the inner and outer quant rings, just because I think like having all that extra quant and rarity is just too good in most situations. You can take some of that out, maybe go for shrines or some more breach stuff, or maybe even some more abyss stuff if you want to kill monsters in your map. I don't think that's really a good plan with this strategy, as you're not really going to be getting a whole lot from the monsters you kill in the map. You're going to be getting most of it from like altars, which technically is monsters you kill in the map, but altars is going to give you a lot, and then the big Delirium explosion at the end of the map is going to give you a lot. You might find some like good fractured mobs in the middle of the map, some other things that you'd find regularly, maybe a divine orb drop here and there because you're killing a lot of monsters, but nothing really notable from the league mechanics without investing into them, which we're not really investing into them. We're just throwing them on the map to get us more Delirium rewards. So that's what the Atlas passive tree looks like. I'll leave a link to this in the description so you can check it out. And let's get on to the profit and results from the strat. This was our stash stat breakdown in Exilence. Some of these prices are a little off. I've made a little bit of an adjustment. I'll show you the adjustment I made in a second so it makes sense for you. Notable drops we got 1 Divine Orb, 1 Incandescent Invitation, and 1 Screaming Invitation. As you noticed from the video, I started out with Screaming Invitations and I switched to Incandescent, so we probably would have had a lot more Awakened Sextants, those kind of drops on our map if we had gone into Exarch sooner, because Eater doesn't really give you anything, and I kind of just had it on from before. Having 2 invitations here for 40 maps is a little bit skewed, but it's like, I don't know, minus 40C at the end of the video or something if you want to take that out. 1 Dragon's Heart, a little bit lucky there. Darker Halves, you should actually get those relatively often. And then we get a lot of Simulacrums because we're getting a lot of Simulacrum Splinters. So those are kind of nice. They do add up. No other real notable drops. Everything else is basically just bubblegum currency and random things you pick up. But let's just talk about the Deli Orbs for a second, because you're going to see 11.25 Divines here. And that's not quite right, because we need to double the amount we're getting from our Delirium Orbs, because this is saying the good ones are worth 19 and 12, and they're worth a little bit more than that, and the bad ones are worth at least 15, 16C each. I didn't get any skittering, which would drive up the price average a lot, but I kind of just ballparked the average here, because the expensive ones are worth a bit more than like 16, 17C, really like 20, 30C. If you get skittering, those are worth like 40C, so they're going to bump up the average. Pretty much everything below that is usually worth around, like I said, 16, 70C. So I just said they're probably worth around 20C each. This is not pricing them correctly. So we had a total of, I believe it was 43 Delirium Orbs, about 1 per map on average, even with the maps we weren't getting Delirium. So we had to double up our cost though. So these are averaging about, I don't know, I said it was taking about 9 average, right? So let's add 11C times 43 to the map cost here, or to our total profits, right? So if we go 473 divided by 220, and that's going to give us 2.5 divines. 2.15 divines rather, another 2 divines basically. We'll just call it another 2 divines because we're kind of ballparking the numbers a little bit here for sake of time. It's going to be really close anyway. It's going to be very accurate regardless. That's our profit in Delirium Orbs in addition to these numbers. It's worth basically about twice as much as what these numbers are saying. Here in Excellence, Excellence kind of messes up with some of the prices of some stuff sometimes, but some stuff at price is too low, other stuff at somewhere else is too high. Kind of usually comes out to a pretty good idea of what you're going to get. Total profit is going to be 11.25 divines plus those 2 divines, so we're up to about 13.25 divines. All right, let's go over to the spreadsheet here and break everything down then. So let's say 40 maps, we sustain our maps. You can sustain your maps. That's another point I wanted to make here in the video. You don't need to invest in maps. If you just favorite all your maps, you're going to be getting enough maps to sustain your maps while doing this. So you don't have to buy any more maps. If you want to just keep doing this strat for a long time, don't have to buy any maps, just chisel, alch, and go. It's really easy. And obviously be sustaining those types of currencies as well. Our scarab cost, 40 rusted elder, 40 abyss, 40 harbinger, and 40 breach scarabs. That's what I ended up with. I was doing legion for a little bit, but legion scarabs are actually 3C each, and you just really don't need them. They actually add a lot of time to the map too, because you got to wait for the monoliths is what they're called. You got to wait for the monoliths to do their thing, and it's not really worth. You don't need them. We're really just trying to get a 7 rewards, rush the boss, like I said a couple times before. Don't need legion for that. So total cost comes out to 160 chaos, 0.72 divines. We had 13.51 divines in total, but we're going to end up with about 6.75 divines an hour for 2 hours, I said. So that was with, I was saying about 2.5 minutes per map, including those maps we go really quickly on for about 1/3 of the maps when we don't get the mirror, and then maybe around 3 minutes for the maps we do get the mirror. But this was a conservative estimate anyway. So I said, let's just say it takes 2 hours, because at 2.5 minutes a map, it takes 1.6 hours. So I said, let's just say it takes 2 hours. So it made it take a little bit longer than it should take, kind of to skew the numbers down a little bit here to make sure we're having conservative estimates basically. So 13.51 here with divided by 2 over 2 hours for 6.755 divines per hour. So pretty good there. Pretty good there. It's a really low cost, low investment strategy. You can do it really easily. You just got to buy the scarabs. That's about the only thing you have to go and trade for. And then you just self-sustain all your maps. You can bulk up on a ton of scarabs all at once. If you got a little bit of currency to spend, 1C each. A lot of these are actually less than 1C each. You can get more than 1 for a chaos. Really good strategy, really fun, and very profitable. So I would encourage you guys to take a shot at this one. Last time I put a video out on a very similar style strategy. Basically the same thing with a little bit of changes a couple leagues ago. A lot of people really liked it and said it went really well for them. So that's going to do it, and thanks for watching.